Bitcoin's just hitting these low 67Ks again. We're running in this very tight little range here. It's choppy if you guys are trying to trade BTC at the moment. But the big news is the Trump situation. What is going on? Is this going to be bullish for crypto? Isn't it? We're going to talk about this one in depth. Then I'm looking at a couple of RWAs again. I think we need to talk about ONDO today and Link as well. And then I've got Solana for you guys. I've got ETH. And I'm updating some of these Trump meme coins. Maybe it is time for some action again. We've got a lot to talk about. It is Friday. Let's get right into it. And remember, if you're enjoying the content, hit the like button, hit the subscribe, and hit the bell, and make this man so happy. He's traveling the world again. Now he's in another destination. We'll find out exactly what's going on there with Ray, but later. Okay, so Banter Bubbles looking okay. Beam had a nice pump, 6%. We spoke about that yesterday. Chaos told you we were looking at a potential long there using one of our indicators that we are using, and lo and behold, we had an upbid listing for Beam, and this thing absolutely exploded. So well done to anybody who caught that Beam trade. Lido looking good, as you can see, 6% up, and Peppy is doing its thing. Once again, these meme coins don't go away, and we can't fade them. Even Floki has got its head out here at 3%, and both of them bouncing off some nice levels and some good areas. So, you know, just playing the basic TA game on some of these meme coins, and always nice recovery plays after a little bit of weakness in the market. So keep your eyes on these, and don't fade them after a bit of weakness. They can be some big bounces for us. Let's take a look at our current BTC situation and just see what they have just done to us, other than chopped us all over the place. And if you are trading this, it's pretty much the Wild West out here of choppage. Right now, our lows that we are watching once again, 67,200. We are back there for how many times now? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 times in the last while. Here we are again. If you want to take a scalp here, here's your opportunity now. Small little moves at play potentially. So 67,200 is where it's at now. And that is the main level that I'm going to watch now for today. If we get weakness now, leading into, you know, the afternoon session here in the US, we could see a little bit of a push now on BTC, and they're going to start taking out some of these liquidation levels a little bit lower down. And yesterday we earmarked that 66K as the first area of interest. That obviously hasn't changed now. That is a big zone for us, and that'll clean out a lot of the late longers and things like that. The guys that have been piling in, you know, after the last over the last couple of days looking for those longs, they might start flushing them out here. So let's look out for that. Let's exercise caution at these regions. 66K on this current chart. If we do get some kind of move now, and you know, let's say things do turn a little bit bullish, well, number one, you need to deal with this trend ahead of you. You can see we keep rejecting every time they try and send it out through this region. So we want to break through this trend. If we do get a bullish push here upside, 69,500. Don't get too excited until we start breaking 69,500. That's a big one. And then 70,700 is where our next zone is. But right now we want to hold the support. We want to just make sure that our altcoins are doing okay on their current support zones, and we don't want to get too ahead of ourselves at the moment. So what is actually happening out there? And well, let's just first look at this liquidation heat map before I tell you what is going on in the news. So this is the Bitcoin exchange liquidation map that we are looking at right now. And you can see they've started pushing this thing a little bit lower now throughout the day. Earlier today, when we were on a Sniper Club live session, it was equal balance of longs and shorts. You can see they've started cleaning out some of the longs here, but you've got a nice juicy zone here all the way down to 66K. If you look where my cursor is right now, that is 66K right there. And if they really want to hurt our feelings, they're going to send us to 65K, which we're going to deal with as well on that daily chart. I'm going to show you guys shortly. And what has actually happened here? Well, we had some decent numbers come out of the States. The PCE inflation came, and we had a short-term little bounce in the market. It gave everything a little pop, and things were looking good and relatively bullish. But then we had a very quick reversal. So we're going to deal with that and the S&P shortly. So the big one in the news, obviously, I mean, if you don't know about this, you're hiding under a rock. But basically, ex-President Donald Trump found guilty in hush money case. Okay, now I don't want to get too involved in crypto. I mean, I don't want to get too involved in politics, but what I do want to get involved in is crypto. You know, is this going to pump? our bags, this current situation? Is this bullish for crypto? That is the question I've been asking myself. So we're going to deal with this in detail. I've got a little bit more news on this situation for you, but start letting me know here. Let me know in the chats your current sentiments on the situation. I just want to hear from what you guys are thinking. Yeah, I know some of you guys are saying it's the Wild West. Richard says he's getting nervous and all these types of things. So let me know what you guys are thinking on this current Trump situation. I've got a couple of more tweets that I want to talk to you guys about. And then let's not forget the ETFs. They saw $49 million of inflow yesterday, the 13th straight day of inflows. Okay, bulls are gearing up. And, for those of you that have been to New York, you know this bull. And there's a famous picture they like to take. The ladies, I've seen it. They put their hands on the bull's balls and then they take photos. And they seem to find that absolutely hilarious. I've seen it every time that I've gone there. And, that's got nothing to do with crypto, doesn't it? Ali Chart says over 37,000 BTC have been withdrawn from crypto exchanges in the past 72 hours. Okay, worth around 2.5 billion. Now, that is interesting. If we're taking BTC off exchanges, it means we're not necessarily going to be selling them. So that is pretty bullish for the current situation. So we've seen ETF inflows and we've seen BTC getting taken off exchanges. So two little semi-bullish signs there for us. And then this just came out this afternoon. So this was interesting. This might have played its part in the current. I see Thomas wants some bullhorn. And there you go. There you go, Thomas. And I see this might have played its part in some of the weakness that we saw earlier. $300 million Bitcoin has been stolen by hackers from Japanese exchange DMM Bitcoin. So maybe that had some kind of effect. But if we look at the current S&P situation, we can see there's a little bit of blood on that dance floor as well, which we're gonna deal with shortly. Quinton says, guys, be patient. Okay, he's giving you a nice little chart here, and he's saying it's so obvious. You just need patience. And if you zoom into his chart, what he's telling you here is look what happened every time we had a halving. It was a long process. This is a marathon, not a sprint. So let's not force things. Let's just keep it cool. Let's keep moving on. And if this thing is going to play out, everybody is going to be happy and everybody is going to make money. So don't try and force things. Don't try and force the current situation. Just a reminder again, stay patient. Okay, the process will sort itself out when it's ready. All you need to do is make sure you have money left to stay in the game. And let's not overtrade. Let's not get wrecked while we wait for these moments. Right, so this is some of the news that came out. And Jeroen Blokland, he's just made a post here. But basically, this PCE core inflation came in okay. The market kind of liked it. It wasn't looking that bad. But the S&P started turning over a little bit more. And we have now finally started drifting into my first potential bounce zone here on the S&P 500. So I'm looking at this currently on the daily, and we are now moving into potential reaction zone number one. Why is this a reaction zone for me? 382 fib, 50-day moving average. I like this little area here as a whole. And again, that doesn't mean it's the bottom of a potential move, but what this could mean for us is maybe we're going to get a little dip into the zone, and then we might start a little move higher up. When we get a little bit higher up, we'll deal with that accordingly, but this could be a reaction zone. So the scalpers, maybe you want to look at this with me. I'm trading this on Prime XBT at the moment. There is a link in the description for this, and remember, on Prime XBT you can trade crypto as well, and then they've got a separate platform, global futures. You can trade gold, oil, silver, all these things, and the S&P. So what have I done here? I've bought my first S&P long at the current levels that it's at, and then I've set an order for more S&P longs a little bit lower down. That order is sitting at 5194. So that is what I'm looking at here, 5194. So dip into this region in between the 382 and the 50-day MA. I'm looking to pick up some S&Ps there. And then if we start closing, say we start moving down below that 50-day MA, then we're going to start cutting this thing, and we'll sit back and then look for lower levels potentially. But right now, that is my game plan. Prime XBT, jump in. There is a link in the description under the show, and take advantage of that. Okay, so just update on BTC. We are good so far. We're watching this level and no changes there. Dominance. This was key, and this is what we've been talking about for ages now. This is dominance on the weekly. We lost at the beginning of the week, or the start of last week, we lost the rising weekly trend. That's massive for altcoins. It's massive for the market as a whole. And what we need now this weekend, we need to close under this rising trend. I'd like to see a candle close below this level to stay bullish for some of these altcoins. If we start getting candle closes above this rising trend, it could be a sign that they want to push this higher. Now, these are the potential scenarios that can play out. If we get a close above this rising trend, it's not necessarily the worst case for altcoins if Bitcoin is pumping. If Bitcoin is pushing up to 70K, 75K, that's great. Then dominance can pump, and these altcoins won't be amazing, but they're not going to get wrecked. The problem here comes with if Bitcoin starts losing a couple of levels now and we start drifting 65K, 62K, those type of things, and this dominance starts pushing up, these altcoins are going to get absolutely minced. So we are looking carefully now. We are watching this closely here, and we want to get a close under this to try and look for some bullish things for some of these altcoins. Carlos says red today, green tomorrow, and yes, you know, typical games they play. And Glenn Goldberg says when moment up. Crypto Nate says game pran. And Michael Croft says banana season is coming. Now you guys have all heard of that. He says that's on its way, it's just not happening today. And luckily Bobby got that beam long yesterday, so well done trading that beam one into that upward listing. Look, we're never going to know when we're going to get these listings. I showed you guys a nice tweet yesterday with some of those tokens that are potentially going onto Upbit. So if you want to go check it out, grab my show from yesterday and just take a photo of that tweet that I shared with you guys. Okay, Joel is still looking decently bullish on Bitcoin as well. So he said has locked in the weekly hidden bullish divergence. Okay, a lot of signs again. All these things, all these puzzle pieces are starting to fit together. So let's not lose sight of the bigger picture. If we're trading weekly and weekly timeframes and things like that, there is no rush. There is no urgency. If we drilled into 15 minutes and those type of things, obviously it's an emotional move every time Bitcoin sneezes. But bigger picture, all is well. Your spot bags are good. You know, keep DCAing on great areas with your spot bags, and you're going to be just fine. Bitcoin on the daily, again, this is the big one I wanted to show you. This looks reasonable to me. 66K to 65K. I've circled it here for you in this yellow circle, and we discussed this one at length, and we're going to keep obviously talking about this until it eventually happens, or until Bitcoin fires off and sends us north. So right now 66 to 65K, reasonable. If you look at this chart, you have to agree with me, nothing wrong with a move like that. It does mean that some of your altcoins that you're sitting on right now that are on support, we're going to talk about that shortly, might start moving to their next level lower down, and we just need to be prepped for that in case that's going to happen either way. So currently we're seeing altcoins on supports. If we start getting a drift in Bitcoin, we need to start addressing slightly lower levels. Okay, ETH is also looking good. I just wanted to point out, or I just wanted to flag to everybody who is trading ETH, we are at level number 1. We are DCA zone number 1. This is 3,700. I've added to my ETH position yesterday. This was my DCA zone number 1. I do have DCA zone number 2 that we are waiting for. It's slightly lower down here, 3,500. DCA zone number 3 for me is 3,250, and that sort of setup and that system is not going to change for me. We're looking for this thing to drift potentially a bit lower. If it does, those are the areas that I'm grabbing more ETH. What is interesting to me at the bottom here, I've highlighted this for you guys. You can see the daily stochastic RSI potentially just wants to drift a little bit lower down, and when this starts bottoming out and we get the tie-in with some of the other stocks bottoming out, that could be a sign for us that we are then going to get a little push higher on ETH. So just look out for that. I'm just flagging this at the moment. It could say to you that there could be some more downside here on ETH. So remember your next levels, remember your hot zones. These are the areas you're looking for potential buys. Okay, here's Donald. Okay, he wasn't happy, and I know some of you guys must have seen all this news, but I want to pull this tweet up here for you guys. Ray, you're gonna have to let me know if you hear the sound on this one, or if not. Let's just get this one going. Okay, here we go.
This was a disgrace. It was a rigged trial by a wicked judge who was corrupt. It's a rigged trial, a disgrace. They wouldn't give us a venue change. We were at 5% or 6% in this district, in this area. This was a rigged, disgraceful trial. The real verdict is going to be November 5th by the people. And they know what happened here, and everybody knows what happened here.
Well, there you go. I'm not going to play the whole thing for you guys, but you can see the man is not happy. Okay, and he's saying the real verdict is coming. at the polls. Okay, so as it turns out, this conviction actually means nothing for him running as president. He can still run for president. So there's no stopping him now from that respect. And what we're seeing at the moment, or what I've seen, or what I've picked up, is that he's actually getting more support now based on what's just happened. So was this a political fail by the Democrats, or was this a political move? Let me know your thoughts in the chats. I'm not American. I'm not in America. But obviously all this stuff, all this drama does interest me, and it obviously impacts what we do. So Trump is not happy. But what we do know, if this man gets more support, and we already know that he's super pro crypto, and now he's got more support, that just sounds like bags getting pumped all the time. And even some of these Trump memes that we're going to deal with in a few minutes' time. So just very interesting what's going on here. And Zero Hedge tweeted this comment from somebody who manages a big hedge fund. Okay, Trump would be a no-brainer for our industry. Pump the bags. That's what they're saying. And, he's now got so much support. 𝗂𝗏 Capital's Sean Maguire donated $300,000 to Trump's campaign. And look at this. He managed to get $34.8 million in small dollar donations since the conviction. Now, is this man's popularity going up, or is it going up at the moment? I'm keen to see in the chats here what you guys are thinking, especially the Americans. And Diamond D says, I'm in the USA, he'll win easily unless they rig it again. And Thomas says the Dems can't seem to get anything right. Look, guys, keep the comments flowing through. Educate me. I'm not sitting in America. And Ripple Muncher says Trump is raging. So Didn't Pies also got some views there. American legal system is apparently corrupt. Okay, so anyway, let's not get too stuck into politics. But what we can get stuck into when the politics are playing out is some of these tokens that we've been talking about for the last week or so. Look at this absolute banger that we gave you. We teed up the Trump token on ETH. This is MAGA, M-A-G-O. The ticker is TRUMP, Trump. And I gave you guys the support area that we were looking at. And when this drama started unfolding here yesterday, we had this beautiful pullback onto the support zone. Look at the support zone that we highlighted here for you guys, and it was perfect. Dipped into that zone for the buys, and this thing is now firing again. So we were talking about this thing at a $500 million market cap. Now it's $734 million. Is this thing going to $1 billion? Are they going to send this thing north? So a lot of strength being shown here, and just quite interesting. If you dial into these 15-minute candles, you can see when the drama was unfolding, there's a big sell-off and then a massive pump. And this is played out in some of the other tokens as well. Look at Bowden. Bowden got absolutely rinsed here. When the verdict came out, they pumped Bowden's bags, and then they absolutely dropped it. And when the Trump verdict came out, they dumped his bags, and then they absolutely pumped it. So Bowden seems to be out of favor now again. And that's the one. And looks like it's trending lower for now. So eyes on the current Bowden situation. And then Trump as well, another Trump play on Sol. And this one also massive pumpage here on the 15 minutes. You can see as the drama was unfolding, the type of moves we got. So $115 million market cap, still looking okay. And then let's not forget about DTI that I brought to you guys at a $300,000 market cap. This thing is now $2.4 million market cap. Is this thing going to go higher? What is going to happen here? And $2.4 million starting to look a little bit healthy, starting to look like they're trying to send this thing a little bit further north at the moment, and might be a nice underdog Trump play. For those that didn't get the $500 million token, we might have something here with a smaller market cap. Might be a couple of X's here at play or in play for some of you guys here. So remember, you guys got this early, and these type of things you want to buy obviously on weakness ideally, and just look out, watch this one, keep your eyes on that current situation. Okay, so there's the Trump drama. Okay, my view is, yes, it's more bullish for crypto. My view is he might get more support now. My view is he might actually win this election, and that is going to pump our bags, and it's going to all just work out perfectly. We see the M2 money supply pumping higher, the qualitative easing happening, all these things, the puzzle pieces are all moving together for some big type of pumpage in the near term. And I see the legends just jumped in here, and we'll actually ask him quickly. Good morning.
Hey there.
Did you just wake up?
I was watching and got real excited. I mean, just what people even not understand is that we actually have a section inside Sniper Club that focuses on memes. And, we're not political. I know some people love Trump. Some people scream and lock him up. Who cares? For us, we're focusing on crypto. And we have a whole new section that just focuses on taking advantage of these different political seasons and stuff like that. And a bunch of people in Sniper Club made a fortune yesterday. It was a great set of calls. Really exciting.
Give me your
it was
quick,
exciting.
Give me your quick 20-second view. You live in the States. What's the story? Politics.
Oh, it's been like so long. I mean, literally, there's a large group of people that adore Trump, think he's walks on water and is amazing and whatever. And the opposite half of them think he belongs. I don't know if you remember, but during his campaign against Hillary Clinton, he was going, lock her up. And the other half of the United States is going, lock him up, because they think he's the most corrupt president in the history of the States, who's trying to turn the United States into a dictatorship like Putin's got. I mean, it's literally split down the middle. They love him or they hate him. And then there's the other half of the people who don't notice anything that's going on, but that doesn't affect
love him or hating. Love him or hate him.
Yeah.
Play the right token.
So, but for our purposes, it's like, hey, it's exciting. It's basically, think about it. It's like more free marketing, right? Like, what do we take when we try and pump a token, right? When they launch a token and the companies try and pump it, it costs them fortunes. For Trump, for Bowden, for all these Nancy Pelosi. I can pronounce. I got one that Conan, which is Trump's dog. I mean, we got all these things lined up, and we're mapping them throughout the political election season to capitalize them to make profit on it.
Okay. So yeah, guys, we'll obviously keep you posted here on the show. Obviously, Sniper Club, we're building up this meme section that we've now got a meme channel there for you guys. So we're getting really stuck into that. And if there's any meme degens out there, and I'm talking great meme traders, I'm talking guys that know their shit. Okay.
Yep.
DM me on Twitter. I want to talk to you. I want degens, I want legends, I want guys that are in this business all the time, trading and do these things. Maybe we can make a star of you. Come and talk to me, DM me, and I want a piece of that.
It's so true. Like not that long ago, you were talking to me about 𝗃𝗃 or whatever it is, and I was ragging on it, right? It's like, and you go, hey, let's just trade it, and so I was kind of, I'm more of an older traditional trader, but I can't knock it. It's working, right? These meme things are alive and they're exciting and they're pumping.
Okay, Bruce, thanks for that. Thanks for the update on the politics situation as well. Okay, guys,
whatever.
Okay, well, if you've got something in the back there, bring us something. Okay, work on something there in the back. I'm gonna crack through some work here. I've got to nail off some charts here. We can talk politics all day, but you guys are here for the show.
You need to nail off the likes. How about the likes?
Guys, don't make Uncle Ray upset. If you're enjoying the content, hit the like button, hit the subscribe. You know what to do. Let's get into the charts here. Let's get going. Okay, Solana, no changes here for me. And there's two ways you can play this. Number one, you can look for the weakness into this horizontal. For me, I still love 158 to 152. Love that sort of zone. If we get a little sweat into that area, I'm in for Sol. And if it starts running early, you know exactly what to do. You've got a clean trend pushing down here on the 12-hour. If this trend starts breaking, you can start trading the breakout and you can start building a little position there as it moves. But what am I looking for? Ideally, I'm looking for weakness now, maybe a Bitcoin push to 65K, maybe something like that. Looking for Sol somewhere in that region. Maybe we're going to get a move there, and that might tie in nicely. 382, 50-day MA, horizontals, all those types of things. So that is my first prize. I haven't pushed the button on Sol. I'm waiting for a little bit lower. And again, if it starts running, you know what to do. You can start getting involved on that break. Okay, we saw yesterday when the GDP or when the numbers came out earlier this week, we saw these BRC20s and BTC related tokens start moving, and suddenly Twitter started waking up to these things. I mean, I haven't spoken about ORDIs in so long. I know it was one of Ray's favorites as well, but here's a bit of ORDI. And Cyril says, the last time he posted ORDI, it started moving, and he says maybe it's time to run it back turbo. So let's look at this. Okay, let's pay attention. Look at this candle that has come out of nowhere here on ORDI. So a nice little move. It looks very similar to the Celestia chart that we've been looking at for the last couple of days. Why is that similar? It's pumped straight into horizontal, pumped straight into trend as well, and now it's rejecting a little bit. So if this thing's going to turn bullish, there's two options here. number one, the bulls need to step in on some kind of 382 bullish pullback here, or number two, this thing needs to now blow the big resistance trend. So there are a couple of options here for you. If you are interested in this ORDI situation, these are your options, and you can play them exactly the same way we are currently playing Celestia. And the rule is, number one, as long as we got a rising trend, we can stay bullish on this token. We do have a rising trend in play at the moment. So what could this potentially look like? ORDI traders, your first area of interest here, 45.6. Okay, a little move into 45.6 could be something of interest here for you guys. You could be looking for your bullish bounce here for something in that region. And then a little bit lower down, I've got 41.8. For you guys as a nice hot zone here. This is an area you put an alarm on. You make sure this thing pings you in the dead of the night if you get a move here in that zone, because a 618 and 50-day MA reaction is quite a fun reaction. You should get a nice little move out of that. So I'm watching ORDI now. I've added it to my watch list. It's now in the game for me. And what do I want to see? Bullish vibes. If this thing starts running, you can see what I've got here. I've got a 200-day moving average just appearing a little bit higher here at 55.3. So we just need to be cautious that if things turn bullish, we're going to get some kind of reaction at the 200-day MA, and then some kind of pullback there. That is going to be a bullish buy then for us as well. So right now, we're looking for bullish pullbacks, 382 fib, anywhere around this 45 region, a little bit deeper, 40, call it 42. You can play around with as well. And then if this thing's going to start ripping again, let it break big horizontal resistance. When we're playing that breakout, then we know there might be some momentum there for us to get involved in, and then we can start laddering in to some positions there. So those are your two options if you want to play the ORDI game. And then there's some news around MUBI. Now, we've always spoken about MUBI as a BRC20 play here on Bitcoin strength. And this thing has been melting down. And I just noticed 𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏 rumors of a potential Binance listing. And he says, I'm long as fuck. But again, you don't have to be as long as fuck. But what you can do is start nibbling around in this area and start looking for potential entries here for us. So what I would look for here, and number one is I've highlighted an order block here for you guys. And you can see on the daily, this is the daily chart. This is quite a bullish order block. What does this order block tell me? It tells me that there's a high probability that the bulls are going to step in every time we get a dip into this region. And we've got a 31% here at the moment. So that's telling us it's pretty strong for this area, and it is a daily level. So what I would suggest here for MUBI, there are two options here for you guys as well. And option number one is you want to buy into any weakness dips into this order block. Look how nice this order block is. Any moves into this area, so 0.075, 0.073, anywhere in that region, we can dip into the zone, and we're looking for some buyers to accumulate there. And what is the next option? Well, you can trade the break of horizontal. If this thing starts getting momentum, we know what it's going to look like. It's going to start banging through this nice big thick horizontal band here on the daily. We're going to get a head sticking out of this thing, and then we can start looking to start building positions here, and then we're going to look or expect that type of resistance to hold as support once we get that pullback. So remember, we got tons of dailies here banging up as resistance, and that tells us when we eventually break through, we need to long that, or we can look to long that with confidence on any pullbacks into those levels. If we have a strong daily resistance break, often that's going to tell us that we can hold this now as some kind of daily support. So we're going to watch this one closely. I would say get this on your watch list. If there is a Binance listing, there could be a little bit of action here on MUBI. But as far as the lows are concerned and accumulation areas and buy areas, you can't ignore this. And you can't deny that this is potentially a nice little juicy area here that you want to be playing in. So anywhere in this little order block box for me is a nice little zone. You want to fiddle around in this area. When it gets momentum, obviously we can put our foot down and start getting a little bit more action. Okay, here is my link set up. Now I'm pulling back nicely on a little bit of weakness. So you guys will note yesterday I set 2 potential buy zones on CoinCatch with link. And my first one is now pinged. It pinged earlier today, 17.8. That area has been hit. And now we are looking for our next potential bounce zone for link is coming down at 16.8, 16.9. So that is how I've set it up on CoinCatch. You can see here is my link trade. And here's my next order, 17 on the way. So it's preloaded here. And we're going to look to pick that up. The idea here, or the theory behind this is, we obviously have to stay relatively bullish here in the market. We can't see BTC starting to really start dumping and then killing us, because that's gonna wreck every altcoin out there. But as long as things are moderately bullish here, I'm looking for a link move onto that 618 region. So I'm looking for this bounce into the 618 region. I've got back up here with the 200-day moving average at 16.3. I've got this little support as well in that area. So any wicks down there could be a potential reaction there for us as well. There's most likely the 786 fib in that area too. So that area for me is a hot zone. I'm looking for a move there on link, and let's see how this is going to play out. So that trade is locked and loaded, and it is on CoinCatch. If you want to trade it on CoinCatch with me, remember, no KYC exchange, and you just need a VPN and you can trade on this thing. And they're offering you for the next 2 days, there's 2 days left, 25% cash back. Okay, look at their little grid here at the bottom. They're showing you exactly how it all works. But grab the link in the description under the show. There's my shopping list, and you will see it here, CoinCatch, or it should be there underneath the show, and you're going to catch that in there. So it's a 25% cash back on your deposit. Okay, the next one we got is ONDO. So we're looking at some RWAs. We don't want to sleep on these things. And, for me, my eyes are locked on this ONDO. The next time we get decent weakness from Bitcoin, I'm going to look for a nice bounce here on ONDO. We know this thing recovers nicely on weakness. So the first thing I'm going to do, where if we have a Bitcoin meltdown, let's say 65K, something like that, the first thing I'm going to start looking for is entries on ONDO. And I've marked these ones for you that you can play around with. I've marked them. Just copy them on your charts as well. And you can see the first zone of interest for me, 1.05, has to be an area of interest for you. Lower down, another banger here at 0.90. Both of these are potential add zones. Both of these are nice little areas where you can get a strong little bounce on something like ONDO. We know the RWA narrative is hot. It's not going away. BlackRock gets thrown around all over the place. And this is my go-to RWA trade at the moment is ONDO. So mark these areas on your charts, and then the simple game plan as well. You can see we're in a nice clean descending trend at the moment. So if this thing starts running before, you know what to do. You can start looking for entries if it starts breaking that trend, if we really have to play catch up. But right now, I'd love to see a little meltdown from ONDO into either one of these regions. Either one of these should be a nice little move. Mark Fraser, what's up, bro? I see he's sitting in Cape Town as well. Okay, another RWA that you may have noticed today is DUSK. And that thing is starting to move a little bit as well. So I grabbed a little bit of DUSK earlier today on this potential move higher. So we've got a little bullish push here into this resistance band. We've now popped through it. And there is a potential bigger move coming. So what it needs to do is obviously hold this horizontal region. So this is our first step that we like to see always. We want to just crack through some of the horizontals so you can see what's going on here. We broke that one previously. We bounced when we tested it again, lost it now. We've rejected, and now we've broken through. So I'm looking for DUSK to hold this region here. Anything down to about 42 for me. Looking for that one to hold now as well. So mark that as a potential support zone for you on DUSK. And just some decent news coming out on it, and looking all right. So your first big support, you can see what I've got here around about this 42 region. If we zoom in on the daily, and looking okay, we've got a nice little band here. I'm just going to actually put a little box around this one for you guys to make it a little bit clearer. But we're looking at that right there. Okay, nice little level there. We want to hold that area. That could be a zone where you can start buying a bit, adding a little bit, doing those types of things. And nice little area there on DUSK that you can pay attention to. Okay, another banger. Let's see what we got. Celestia. Okay, are the bulls finally going to step in? So remember what happened earlier this week? We jumped into this modular narrative. There was so much excitement. Celestia started ripping, and everybody was dancing around. And, we felt like we'd missed a major move. And we were saying, well, let's be patient. Let's wait for Celestia to move back to a bullish pullback zone. Let's see. Are these bulls going to step in? If the narrative is going to continue, this is roughly where we'd expect these bulls to start stepping in here and start playing the game on Celestia. So here we are with Celestia moving into our first buy zone. I have added to my Celestia position at this 382. And what do I have here? I've got a 382 fib sitting at 10.4, and I've got a 50-day moving average a little bit lower down here at 9.97. So I'm looking for some kind of bullish bounce now in and around this region here. And if this narrative is going to continue, we want to see Celestia really now kick into gear and start moving. So if you are looking, if you are looking to buy Celestia when it was sitting at the highs, now you've got your opportunity on a nice little pullback where you should be potentially looking at it. Remember, we don't want to FOMO into big green candles at resistance zones. We always need to just keep composure, let it reject, let it do its thing, let it consolidate, whatever. And then the market and the chart tells us a story. At some point, these things consolidate and they start floating around different zones and more interesting zones. So Celestia has now given you a breather. If this narrative is going to continue, well, we need a bullish bounce here. Horizontal 382 fib 50-day MA anywhere in this region here for me. So call it 10.4 down to about 9.9, anywhere in that zone. I'm looking for some kind of move here out of Celestia. Let's see if they're going to give it to us. And then lower down, obviously, we're going to have a 618 that's going to be tied in with that trend as well. So look out anything down to that region even. Call it 9.5 before you have to start abandoning ship and throwing the water with the buckets out the side. So that is what I'm looking for there on Celestia. And here's a little trade, 2 trade setups potentially on IMX. So again, the market needs to play ball with us here, and we need to get some kind of reversal soon from BTC. We can't let BTC keep melting down. But what I did like about IMX on the 12-hour, looking a little bit interesting. So dipping into a rising trend, dipping into a 786 fib and dipping into some horizontals here. Wow, these stochastics are getting reset. Look at the stochastic on the 12-hour. Look at that, how it's bottoming out here at the moment. Let's look at it on the daily. Also looking relatively good here, starting to bottom out on the daily, starting to tell us a story. Maybe we're going to get some kind of action there. And IMX, look here, bottomed out on the 8-hour. And slowly, we're waiting for this 4-hour to just give us a little entry here, drift a little bit lower for us. So that is what I'm looking at the moment on IMX. And then another notable for me that I picked up earlier today, I've got an X print using one of our indicators here. I've got Lux talking to me. Let's just confirm that it's still there. And yeah, there it is. Okay, so we've got our first X print as well in play from Lux. So we got this short print originally. Now they printed an X for us. And what does that X tell us? It tells us that the current move is potentially slowing down. When you see X prints leading into big support zones, I always start paying a little bit more attention because it might be a warning sign to say the current trend is slowly going to start reversing. And you can see what happens generally after you get an X print. Number one, they printed a bullish move there. Number two, you had an X print, then a dip lower down, there was a bullish move. Number three, we had an X print, there was a bullish move after that. So here we go. Here's an X print. It's melting down a little bit more, but moving into this nice thick green cloud here for us. And that could be telling us that there's potentially a bounce coming. So with that information at hand, with that information in front of you, I have taken a long on IMX in this box that was earlier today. And we're looking for this type of reaction in that zone. So let it dance around a little bit if it absolutely must. And the exit plan is 2.088. If you get a candle close under 2.088, that could be a potential exit for you. And your entry is anything from the current market price down to round about 2.1. Okay, so that could be a super ridiculously tight stop for you if you're buying weakness into this box. And the current stop percentage from the current market price is 2.2% that you are looking at. And then option two, if we do get further weakness, I would expect a reaction from IMX a little bit lower down as well. I've got a 618 fib tied in here for you. It's a bigger pull, 618 fib as well. Nice little region here. Look at the horizontals coming here for us as well. So that was telling us plan B could be in play for us lower down. And that region, you want to be looking at 2.03 down to 1. Call it 2. 2.03 down to 2 could be your next potential zone. So let's say Bitcoin sneezes, we bang 66, 65K, something like that, and we get more weakness out of IMX. That is where we're looking. Somewhere in that 2 region is going to be your next potential scalper long. And if you are trading spot, well, then you can use both of these as potential ladder in zones. But I'm speaking to the leverage guys, and I know there's degens out here. I know there's guys using big leverage. So protect yourselves here. Use your stop losses. Understand, your levels. Understand where your exit plan is. There's Tony. And understand where to jump out when things are not going in your direction. Okay, so watch out for that one. And then 1 inch. So we dropped a 1 inch short on Sniper Club. Degen David, our resident Degen, trader. He dropped a short on 1 inch that we were looking at last night, and nice and clean little play happening now on 1 inch. So it's playing out quite nicely, and I wanted to just take you guys through the current potential trade. So the short came right out of this trend line and 618 playing into some horizontals here, and nice little reaction off 618 trend horizontals, and now it's drifting down into a reaction zone. So this is going to be a TP zone for me, and the target here is 0.447. So I'm making an assumption here, obviously, that any weakness we're seeing in the market here is going to end at around a fair level here, and we're going to get a nice little bounce on these alts. So we're looking for a reaction here, 0.44, somewhere in that area. I'm looking for some kind of bounce then in that zone, and then that should give you the long play that should potentially play out there. So look out, there could be a setup coming. I just took a small position yesterday on that short, but it's starting to tick along nicely here, and might buy some dinner here this weekend. So we're going to see how that continues to play out, and that is a potential bounce coming. Okay, give me 2 charts. Glenn says, Dill showing us running through the mill. Guys, give me 2 charts. Let's go. Let's see what you got. Tata says ICP. Let's go ICP. That's a nice one as well. And there were a couple of decent levels on ICP. So nice notable areas here for us to watch. Let's see what ICP is giving us right now. Okay, so these are zones of interest. This is what we're looking for. And so ICP, we are losing the 200-day moving average. What does that tell us? That tells us now we need to start looking for our next big zone. Where's our next big reaction area? What's our next potential area where we can get a move? And if you zoom out on ICP, we've got a big area lower down here. So there's a lot of wicks, but we can see there's a lot of support. So what I would suggest here, 11.08, 11.1, okay? Watch these wicks lower down. Obviously, I don't know how much leverage you're using. I don't know what you're looking at currently, but watch that wick there, 10.65. Look out there. Watch this wick over here, 10.55. Okay, both of these are potential areas that could come and get cleaned out, but ideally you're looking at around 11.1, maybe just a little bit higher than 11.1 on ICP, and potentially a nice little range play here for you that could happen. So look out for something like that. It'll dip into that zone, maybe a fake out, and then a push higher. And if things turn well and things start going bullish this weekend, then you can obviously look at about a 25% move. But realistically, you basically just want to trade your next big resistance zone. So do it in blocks. You're going to find probably 4% moves each way as you go a little bit higher. So plan that on ICP. And the kid loves everyone says, Glenn says, I'm mullish, not bullish. The kid says FTM. Let's go FTM quickly. Okay, give me one more chart as well here. Let's take some more. Theta, that's a good one. And AVAX, that's a good one as well. Okay, let me just get the right FTM out here. Okay, here we go. So FTM holding well. This was a zone that I gave in Sniper Club. It's been in my charts in the watch list in Sniper Club for a while, and we are now moving into an interesting zone. So you can see what is going on here. It's reacting currently on the 618. This is why we call it reaction zones. This is why I love these areas, because they often put the brakes on. When there is some kind of downside, these are the zones where you get your reaction. It lets you think rationally. Okay, when the market's melting down, it hits these areas. It gives you time to catch your breath and decide what your next move is. And for those of people that aren't in positions, it gives them an opportunity to start sniffing around at potential moves. So Phantom, this setup hasn't actually changed. We are now moving into bullish entry zone here, 0.76 region, somewhere over there. Could be a bounce for you guys. Then for me, I'm not a fan of Phantom if we start losing these areas. I want to see that candle get taken out. And then we've got our next big zone here at 0.62. Now, remember, to go to 0.62, Bitcoin's going to be shitting the bed, basically. There's going to be pain on Bitcoin. So just look out, okay? And make sure that you are not caught in a potential trade. If they start sending this thing lower, you don't want to be in a position where you now have to ride Phantom down to 0.62 and you're using like 10x or whatever leverage. You're going to get slapped around. So just be careful here. And Anna's asking so nicely about E&A. It's Friday. Let's smash some charts for you guys. I'm trying to get as much as I can in for you guys. I'm going to speed through these things. Let's get this E&A going here. Okay, clean E&A chart. Let's see what we got. Let's take a look. Okay, 50-day moving average is just appearing here at the highs. Okay, trendish. Let's take a look at the trend. Okay, you've got a nice little trend. Okay, so trend resistance. So pay attention to that. That is resistance until it is broken. When you start breaking that, then you can maybe start looking at that as potential support for you. Let's look at some fib support. Let's see what we've got floating around here. Okay, so not great at the moment. I see we've probably got a 0.5 here. Let's pull this 0.5 out. Again, you can use this 0.5 in your armory as well. And look at that. Sometimes you get a nice response at a 0.5. That's 50% of a move. You can see there, nice little reaction zone there. So ENS, what I would say here for you, let's just get this block in here. Watch today. On weakness today, watch 0.85. Okay, watch that. Weakness today, 0.85. Okay, ideally, you get a little sniff down into this region, and then you're looking for a little bounce there potentially. Alternatively, you have to use this previous low. You can see this was a big sell-off and a big pump. If this thing's going to stay bullish, it should print some kind of higher low there. So alternatively, 0.815. If you start closing under that region, okay, so look at what I mean with a candle close. Sometimes they wick you down and then they send this thing higher up. So look out for these tricks that they play. Here's an example. Look at this. They pushed the candle down, but they pinged it up immediately. Here's another example. They pushed it down, but they pinged it up immediately. So try and look for candle closes under these regions before you turn too bearish on the situation. But watch those areas. Those levels should work for you. Let's see what else we got. One more chart. What is turbo? Okay, lots of people talking about turbo. Let's see what turbo is. Ooh, we've got a pumper. Anybody know what turbo is? Enlighten me. Tell me what the story is here. This thing is definitely going turbo and looking relatively bullish as well. So let me see if I can just paint you guys a little scalper picture here for the weekend. Maybe we can bang some entries and see what we get. Let's go full degen here. Let's go 15-minute. Let's go absolute beast mode, and let's see what we can put together. Okay, so first thing you want to do is identify where's my horizontals, where's my potential trends, and all these things. This is not helpful at all. We don't want to get sent all the way down there. Let's look for some horizontals. Okay, bang in some horizontals here. There's one. Let's look for some fib tie-in. I want to see tie-in with fibs. I want to see tie-in with horizontals. Where do we get confluence? Bang. Look at that. Okay, hot zone there. So that's already telling us there could be a nice little pullback onto that zone. Could be a nice long zone there for you. And that's 618. How juicy does that look? Look at this. Nice little play here. Okay, 15-minute candle vibes. Okay, let's remove that 0.5. Okay, so scalpers and things like that, you got to look at reasonable areas. Okay, we can see this thing is now pushing. If you are jumping in now, okay, if you're like a degen and you're jumping in this thing, you've got to just plug your previous candle lows. Okay, I wouldn't jump in here, but your previous candle low 0.00787. Okay, that's your low base that you can work from. Other than that, I say watch the 382. Okay, we get reactions off these areas so often, these 382s. Look for these type of moves into these zones. Look at that. You'll get a nice bounce, or you should get a nice bounce on that area. If they just sneeze a little bit, you should get a move. So key support 0.0075. Watch that area. That could be a little scalper vibe for you. And remember, you got this rising trend. Oof, that's quite a long way down though. Don't really want to go there if you're sitting in leverage. So eyes on that. That is how I would play that. Guys, that was great. I gotta go. It's Friday. Have a great weekend. Trade safe. You know your levels for Bitcoin. Don't get wrecked. Don't overtrade. You've got a few potential setups here. Okay. Don't take all of the setups. Small positions. Play around. If there's momentum, then get involved. Then start getting more aggressive. Don't go into 10 positions now and get rinsed and ruin your weekend. You don't want to ruin it over the barbecue and things like that, watching your phone. So take it easy. And we'll see you on Monday. And the market doesn't go away. So if we have a bad few days or we have a slow few days, it's fine. Remember, we have good times as well. And they mix it up. So just be patient. It can't be permanently up. We will get the right things going for you guys. We'll see you later.